Kinnick Stadium, Iowa City, Iowa. For the final 15 minutes, the Hawkeyes were favored by 26. They lead it by 21, 24-3. Purdue on 4th down to punt it. Eric Bloom, who has been their standout here this afternoon, hoists another one.
There's going to be a little return cushion here.
Nadler at the 30. To the middle. And it's open. 50, 40. One man to beat is Bloom, and he got him. He saved a touchdown. Eric Bloom got the job done on the return man, or it was adios.
Brent, the ball was not in the air long enough. It was a lower kick, a long kick. There was a cushion, and he attacked the coverage. The coverage did not come to balance. You can see people overrunning the protection, overrunning the coverage. This is what happens. Then he has one man to beat, and the punter makes the tackle. Very few punters do that.
Almost forced a fumble, didn't he? 47 yards on the return. Watch for Iowa to look for the big one here. They do. Rodgers on the fake. Got time. Goes to the corner. 6-yard line.
Good concept there. Good concept. Play action pass away from the throw. Keep all the defense looking left. Now see what I'm talking about. Here he's going to run action here. All right, that gets everybody thinking here. Now that totally isolates here. He goes in, goes to the corner. Good call, good design, good protection. You need protection to throw this. He's throwing a back across the grain, no help, one-on-one, not terrible coverage. He just put it right where he had to put it.
1st and goal. Stewart hammered at the 5. Our spotter, Jimmy Tubbs, just picked up some big-time holding that was missed on that successful pass play.
Do you mean the officials miss one once in a while?
If you'll look to the upper part on that rush man for Purdue who's trying to come in on that pass play, you will see 2 men, Dick, who try to almost tackle him, and they couldn't get in. Now watch. In fact, he's all
right here.
He's already down. No, it's up here to the right. He's already down. They flung him down. It was just before that they tackled him trying to get in.
Step over.
Second down and goal. Touchdown Iowa. Sean Smith.
Well, we've been raving about Hunter. That Rodgers, that's his 4th touchdown pass of the day. Again, just straight drop back. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plant. Throw it low into the outside, away from the defender. Almost batted down. Threw it right again where he had to put it. And pretty tight coverage by Jarrett Scales. Just an excellent throw. Good route by Smith.
Skillett adds the extra point. Another touchdown closer to Pasadena. And I'll tell you a fellow who's enjoying this one. The former commissioner of the Big Ten, Wayne Duke, and his wife Martha in Iowa City, and his Hawkeyes are doing the job. 31-3. And the Hawkeyes kick off leading 31-3 here in the 4th quarter. And they hound Ernest Callaway short of the 20-yard line.
Matt Hillard, number 48, comes up with a big play. No one blocked him, and he ran down there. And this is his opportunity. He's not in the lineup defensively, so he gets a chance to play in those special teams. You can never underestimate the value of a good special teams player.
Galen Morrow is in that huddle along with Callaway. Eric Hunter, a fine sophomore quarterback out of the state of Virginia. Back in for the Boilermakers. 4 wide receivers. And he hits Morrow at the 23-yard line.
The trouble with those kind of passes when you're behind 31-3 you're not advancing the ball very far. I'd go ahead and let this kid cork it down in those zones, down in those seams, like they were have a few times. Of course, they dropped one of them, but he has that kind of rifle arm.
Jermaine Ross checks in with the play. Let me correct. I think I said it was Morrow. That was Curtis McManus making that catch for the Boilermakers. Second down. Hunter. Complete. And that was Morrow.
Again, Morrow is that true freshman we were talking about earlier, out of Denver, Colorado, Manual High School, All-State. He missed 4 games, and he still made All-State, ran for 1,289 yards. Must be a talent, getting us a chance to play as a true freshman. That shows you how lean they are in overall talent when your true freshmen are making big contributions.
They'll bring the chains out and measure here. Well, Ohio State wins to keep its Rose Bowl hopes alive. And next week they'll square off against Michigan at Columbus. Again, we'll start at noon Eastern time. And then after that, it'll be Notre Dame and USC. And of course, tomorrow night on prime time, it begins. Stephen King's biggest bestseller. 8 o'clock in Chicago. I know that Dick Vermeil will have his videotape machine.
Don't get me in trouble.
I know. You haven't figured out Twin Peaks yet.
No, I haven't.
Who did kill Laura?
Yeah. These Iowa people love their college football. See, there's no pro football in town. I don't know who their favorite pro team is, but I know who their college team is.
The hammer for the first down. Melvin Foster there defensively as Galen Morrow.
Galen Morrow was a high school honors student. He's majoring in advertising. Declaring his major right off the bat. Many kids go to school a couple years before they really get in, zero in on what they want to major in. Especially at Purdue. Most of those guys are engineers, aren't they?
Yes. I think 17% of all the engineering graduates in the United States
are Purdue guys. They better get some guys who can run faster.
Melvin Foster forced out of the game. Dick, after that play, it was 1st and 10. He fires to Hill. Hill on the far side, forced out of bounds by Brian Wise, number 15.
There's again a true freshman we talked about. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati Player of the Year. 2 times All-County. They're doing a good job recruiting those guys.
Some of the nicest fans in America come to this stadium. This is amazing. It was delightful.
Ooh, got it. Almost got him through there.
Oglesby didn't get it. So it'll be 3rd, and they're going to need a couple more yards for the first down.
Big Larry Taylor pulled across the centers behind him and trapped to his right. Darn near opened up a hole for Oglesby to pop through there. That's the first trap play I've seen them run. And normally in a run-and-shoot offense, there are a lot of trap plays run. A lot of traps and draws. And, of course, these people run the shuffle pass in place of a draw when the linebackers aren't dropping out of there, so they get them to drop out better.
Hunter, first down, Purdue.
You think he can take a shot? Did you see that? Derby, John Derby came in and hit it, and he still fired that rifle. This guy's a tough guy. He does not flinch. He might be gimpy a little bit right now, but he's standing tough.
Jermaine Ross, the receiver. He's probably as impressive sophomore quarterback, as we've seen this year.
By a long way.
Eric Hunter.
And we've seen a few good ones, including the kid at UCLA playing SC right now. This guy is a talent.
Eric Hunter. Callaway, fake toss to him, roll to the left. Now under pressure from Johnson. He's picked off. Hunter comes back. Nice play by number 8, Leroy Smith.
Boy, that was a nice play. You know, he made a nice play like that earlier. They like to play, too. See, this was what they call a naked. The quarterback's going to fake one way and come out. Now, he's going to have his uniform on. It just naked means he's not going to have anybody pulling out in front of him. He's out there with no help other than the lineman on that side of the ball. Now he's scrambling. He's scrambling out there, and he throws this. You'll see at the bottom of your screen that he gets that left hand up there nicely. Good movement by Leroy Smith, and good discipline maintaining his defensive responsibilities in his area. Good coaching.
2nd down and 10.
Going to throw it. Going to throw it back.
Callaway's going to throw it back. Hunter will get down fast.
Yeah, you bet.
Got it just shy of that 1st down. Let's go to Mark Jones. Mark.
Brent, Dick, I tell you, it's really a battle to get up here to get to my favorite people, the Grubb family. I guess Uncle Al's almost setting the table, getting ready for dinner for the Rose Bowl, huh?
We're going to have the biggest tailgater in Pasadena you ever saw. We can't wait to get there. We're excited, and it looks like we got this one whipped.
Brent, Dick, I think I'm going to hitch up my wagon to the old Grubb clan and see if I can grab a little dinner, too, and enjoy the football game out there.
All right. Let's see where Mark and the Grubbs are.
There. We love y'all.
All right, they love you, too.
That Mark is a good selector, though. He always grabs the blonde. You know?
All right, the
he
Grubbs
tries to tell us it's the Grubb family, you know.
Just in case you weren't with us at the top of the broadcast, that's the family that Mark opened the day with outside at the tailgate party. Cheerleaders, pom-pom girls, all excited here. So a penalty was marked off, and Purdue will have the ball on their own 49-yard line, and they will have a 2nd down right now, trailing at 31-3, and they must get to the Iowa 46-yard line for the 1st down. About 5 yards here. Here comes Callaway.
Now he's audible. He had to stop. He was in motion. He had to stop.
He's the deepest tailback we've seen this year.
Quick screen.
Oh, drop. Well, Hayden Fry, even though we're in the late evening, puts on those sunglasses because of the lights. That's why he's wearing the glasses right now. He didn't have them on in the 1st half because the glare off those lights was not severe, but his eyes were injured in a blizzard. He was out recruiting, I think it was down in Texas, he told us.
That's the only place they have blizzards. Bad enough to hurt your eyes.
Oh, you've never been in the Dakotas
no.
in January, or Minnesota.
I've been in Minnesota.
Hunter back, throws to Callaway, who gets free. And he is out of bounds at the 42, showing that quickness again, Dick.
He really has that quickness. See, and that's why they're trying to get him the ball out there in the perimeter, out there all by himself in that one-on-one situation. He can shake and make you break and miss it. Now watch him. He pops it out there, rifles it out. Look at that ball. Thrown on a rope. Now watch him make a miss. One miss right there. Now watch the juke move. See, again, a good base. Feet are apart. He can go left or right.
Well, maybe Purdue can score on this drive. That'd be nice for these young men. 1st and 10. Hunter, under pressure, fires incomplete to a diving receiver inside the 20-yard line. That was Callaway again.
That's the first ball I have seen thrown short by Hunter all day. He was under a lot of pressure. Gator was coming in around there.
You need a lot of rushmen for a game like this. Some of your big horses are going to get exhausted.
Well, they've been rotating people in there to rush.
What we haven't seen is Hunter take off and scramble for 10 or 15 yards. That's the one play. Now, we would have to think one of the reasons why we haven't is that injured right leg. But what an arm he's
Maybe a little early.
He got Oglesby, and Foster, who had checked back into the game, blasted him at the 40-yard line.
He doesn't like that. He thought maybe got him there a little bit early, which I did too from here. Thought that was pass interference. Take a quick look and find out if I'm right. Again, it'll happen probably right in the middle of our screen here. Here's the throw. Oh, I don't know. Can't tell from there. I guess the official was right. They normally are.
An 11-play drive by Purdue so far. Still 11 minutes to go. And they bring it up 3rd and 10. And there's going to be a timeout called by Hunter, leaving Purdue with 1. We'll be right back. Well, for the Rose Bowl, it'll be either Iowa or Ohio State, the way it's shaping up here against the University of Washington. The Hawkeyes well on their way. And they'd be just a victory over Minnesota, away from going to Pasadena on New Year's Day. For Purdue, Eric Hunter on 3rd and 10 fires for the first down to the 30-yard line, and Jermaine Ross for 12 yards.
They did a good job of stretching the zone and then bringing the outside receiver from the top back underneath. He had just enough time to get this one off. Now you see him coming underneath right there in the middle of your screen, and that's Scott Plate chasing him.
Purdue probably played its best game of the season against Washington earlier in the season.
They might have been 100% healthy at that time too, you know.
1st and 10. Iowa 30. Under pressure and sacked at the 38-yard line by Ron Gator, number 96. 7:15 to go, and Penn State back into a tie with the Fighting Irish. It was in South Bend where Notre Dame lost its only game of the year, and that was to Stanford. So for the Ramblin' Wreck is UCLA.
Oh, that's a shootout.
Over USC 42-38. A dandy in Pasadena. I can't imagine Keith Jackson wanting a home game with that one. 9:50 to go. Hunter on the draw. Beautiful spinning move by Galen Morrow. That was the old spinner, Dick.
Yeah, old spinner. I kind of believe that's about the first draw we have seen today. Now Galen Morrow there. Now watch him sprint. Now he hands back. Now watch him use this move right there. Spin right there. He gets downfield and he wants to spin again. He's had a little success. He tries it. But Brian Wise, number 15, hits him hard enough that he can't come off that spin.
Jimmy Young into the game. There's a familiar name to Purdue football fans. Jim Young was once the coach at Purdue before going on to West Point. 3rd and 5. Young coming in motion.
They're coming after him here.
Gets it off incomplete. He overthrew Young. So it'll be 4th down. Mark Jones, Hayden Fry and this football team mean a lot to the folks in this state, don't they?
That's right, Brent. It's a very sincere and intimate relationship between the two groups. In fact, on the top of the Iowa football helmet, you will see the 3 letters ANF. It stands for America Needs Farmers. Now, about 6 years ago, Hayden Fry thought it would be a good idea to print that on the helmets and pay tribute to the farmers who have undergone a hard time. And I tell you, I'm having a hard time dodging lots of things here. So I better say goodbye. See you guys later.
Better put the helmet on.
That's right. What are you standing there with the helmet?
Right. Get it on there, kid. You weren't a Phi Beta Kappa, were you?
4th down. Purdue going, trailing late, needing 5. He's got it into the hands of Hill for the first down at the 15-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Boilermakers. And a young man who has taken a pounding got the ball into Hill's hands, but you cannot say enough about the courage of Eric Hunter here this afternoon.
He's proved himself to me, and just imagine he has 2 more years of eligibility. He's going to be one of these guys a year from now. They're going to be talking about, I wonder if he's coming out of it after his junior year.
He may wonder himself after this game. I think it's pounded a few more times. First and 10. Ball is at the 15-yard line. Hill going in motion.
Jason.
Got away, stepped up, incomplete, and almost intercepted by Big 66. He's playing in his last home game here in Kinnick, and he really wants him an interception. Melvin Foster was recruited down to Texas. He was one of the most sought-after players in that state when Hayden Fry convinced him to come up here to Iowa.
You'll see, watch the throwing ability and the athletic ability in this quarterback. Now watch him reach back and throw this off the right foot. He throws that over the right foot. That's tough to do, but he rifles it down there. Good defense. Well, I don't think there's a ball he can't throw.
No, I don't either. This is going to be the 18th play of the drive for him. That's what he's done here this afternoon. I'd like to have a touchdown to go along with those interceptions. Second down and 10. As protection drills it and knocked incomplete by Merton Hanks.
Is that Merton? Boy, he flashed into that play, didn't he? That's why he is considered one of the better defensive backs in the country. I know Bill Brazier, the defensive coordinator, and Mike Stoops, the secondary coach, think he is a true NFL prospect, and you'll see why. He flashed. Here, watch him flash. Here he comes. The ball's coming. Looks like it's going to be caught. And here he comes, flashing right across in front of McManus, number 37. Good move.
Third down and 10 for Hunter and Purdue. They must get to the 5 for a first down. Waiting for someone to come free. Someone's got to come back. He throws into the end zone, incomplete. Nobody quickly worked their way back toward him, and Scott Plate was there defensively.
You can see that the time he had, he's coming back here. He's going to sit. He gets all the time he needs. And Plate is isolated all the way out here on a one-on-one situation. He tries to get the ball to him late. Now, here he comes back. Now, watch up on top of your screen how he's working back inside, A lot of time for that to happen. He comes back in there, and there it is, right there. And Scott Plate does a good job. You know, Scott Plate is Todd Plate's brother.
When you've got a quarterback like Hunter, a wide receiver who can come back and bust a pattern off is invaluable.
Oh, you bet.
Like that.
Come back and take it away himself.
Oh, wow. Fourth and 10 now. Needs to get to the 5. Pressure, throws, incomplete. He was under major league pressure that time. Melvin Foster got a hand on it and deflected the ball. A 20-play drive comes up empty for Purdue. Well, Matt Rogers retires after throwing 4 touchdown passes, completing 21 of 28 passes for 255 yards.
No interceptions, right?
And Jim Hartlieb hands off on his first play of the game. That was Tony Stewart, first play from scrimmage. Do you remember this play? It was heartache last Saturday. Here's how the game ended against Ohio State. This is what happened.
Ohio State has the ball. Last play of the game. They come in a rollout. He has a little pressure. He throws a ball inside on the post, which was actually a broken play. And Merton Hanks really wasn't totally responsible for the coverage on that man. He expected help inside. It wasn't there. It was a touchdown. And Brent, what's it mean?
Well, it means that Iowa, without that reception, would be battling for a national championship. They are that close to being right in the thick of that battle for number 1. And what brings it to mind is Kiowa carries close to a first down. What brings it to mind is the fact that Notre Dame is under severe pressure from Penn State. It's been such a long time. Can anyone remember a year when we've had such confusion as to who is number 1? I mean, if Notre Dame loses today and they are tied at 21 in the fourth quarter, if they lose that game, it really goes up in the air. I mean, Purdue probably...
Oh, my gosh, look at this one now.
They've come back to take a lead. Major league game. Stewart for the first down.
Stewart, a little while ago, was only about 60 yards away from the school record. I don't know what he is right now. We'll check it out.
Hartlieb His brother Chuck was a quarterback here, and here's his brother, who's a linebacker.
He's a freshman linebacker here. His name is John Hartley. The whole Hartley family gets home every once in a while together. I read a little article in the paper about him, and it says that Mom really puts on the feed bag for him.
I believe that we had a fumble on that play. Judging from those two huddles, ladies and gentlemen, it's Purdue's ball. And I know they haven't brought him in to play linebacker. So it's 1st and 10 for Purdue. The ball is inside the Hawkeyes' 30-yard line. And another chance to get some points up on the board here for the Boilermakers. He wanted Oglesby. He was covered. Now he throws to a lineman. That's going to be intentional grounding. He drops the hanky. He did not want to call it.
No, he thought he saw the white jersey, but the white jersey was an offensive lineman. It wasn't a receiver. See, he was in such a crowd, you can get confused in that crowd.
He wanted number 10 quickly, and he couldn't get it.
Couldn't get it. Was taken away. Now he pumps back. He doesn't want to throw the interception. Now, right now, he looks over there, and he sees an offensive lineman thinking it was a receiver and tries to get him the football, and it was not a receiver. That was John Zagelski standing over there, number 59. Same color jersey, just wrong number.
You know, this is getting ugly. This is a very good football player playing quarterback. This is a very talented young man, and he should not be out there if this is just going to be target practice. Someone has got to keep some of these dark jerseys off of this kid. I mean, it's 2nd down and long. He's playing his heart out here today. And here he goes again. I mean, he's got an injured leg. He got that. Somehow he gets it into Oglesby's hands. He's down at the 40-yard line, and the referee helps him back up. Tom Quinn goes over there and says, I'll tell you something, the way you played today, I'm going to give you a helping hand. How about that picture down there of Tom Quinn?
There's a picture of frustration and concern. He's concerned about him, too. They might consider taking him out of there right now, but this is also a time when he gets in there, he's got to rally, and he continues to grow. As long as he doesn't get banged up, he continues to grow as a player.
This is 3rd down and 30. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing for this. This is a great tradition at this school. There he's got Callaway. He's got it. Get in there. Out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
That shows the power of that rifle. I mean, he just threw that corner pattern 41 yards on the spot.
On a 3rd and 30.
Give this guy time as people mature around him. Here he sets up. Look, now he does have the time that you were asking for, Brent. They must have heard you. Now look at this shot. It's going to come right at you in the front room of your house. There it is. Boom. Right on the money. And Ernie Callaway catches it, puts it away.
50 attempts here for Eric Hunter.
I tell you, when you throw the ball 50 times, you very seldom win. Very seldom win.
Fake on the toss. He can get in. Touchdown, Purdue. That will help ease some of the frustration.
Yeah.
What great heart.
Oh, yeah. He's everything they write about, you know, in the clippings in preparation for the game. And, of course, you and I both found ourselves just staring at him on tape Thursday. We're sitting here watching it last week. He did a lot of good things. Here's what we were talking about earlier, his running ability. They say he runs a 4.6 40. He's more physical looking than Randall Cunningham, a little more meat on the bones.
Bad knee and all. Eric Hunter, the sophomore, takes it on in. Steve Womble. Blocked. Extra point. It's alive. It is scooped up on that far side. Womble is knocked down. Jason Olenzak brought it all the way back to the 35-yard line. And it was Brett Bellini who saved the moment for Purdue.
Jason Olenzak. You know, he made a big interception last week. Here it is, the block Extra point. Sometimes these are low kicks rather than they are blocks, but this was a block. Boy, he went in there and played volleyball right there, right up the gut. Now it's picked up there by Olenzak, old Dr. Olenzak. He's a pre-med student, performing a pretty good operation on this return. Getting good interference. He's probably running out of gas. He says, call the ambulance. Someone turned somebody loose on the field goal protection that time. I think Purdue's just losing their concentration on everything they're doing right now. They want to go home. Maybe it's getting cold down there.
59 seconds to go, and Penn State with the football.
On the Notre Dame 20.
Notre Dame 20, a field goal can win it. What a moment that might be for Joe Paterno, who's headed for the inaugural Blockbuster Bowl against Florida State.
Getting so many bowls, they have to come up with different names, don't they?
I'll tell you what has happened today. If you want to take the big look at this, it has proven that the Bulls are moving too quickly.
Yeah. Into
Virginia knocked off today. They're headed for the Sugar Bowl. Everybody talking about an Orange Bowl national championship between Colorado and Notre Dame, but someone forgot to tell Penn State.
Joe Paterno's coach football teams are normally ready to play better football at the end of the season than they were at the start of the season. They really improved through the years.
There's that short high pop they look for. That's a planned kick, isn't it?
That's a planned kick. You can fair catch that ball.
Great game.
That's the final, huh?
Oh.
Well, Bruins got beat.
I said that too quickly. I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot your heritage.
Yeah.
If you'd still been there as head coach,
we'd have been beaten worse.
Been beaten worse. First and 10.
Marvin Lampkin is in at running back, and he's sort of the heir apparent when these two senior tailbacks get out of here next year. Here's Hartley. I think this is run all the way.
He's out to the 47-yard line for a first down. Nice looking run. And Tommy McNeil, he's played his heart out today for Purdue.
Yes, he does. You can see why he leads the team in tackles. He averaged 11 tackles a game coming in. He was the number 6 tackler in the Big Ten coming in. He's got one of those guy hearts that just keep pumping regardless of the score.
First and 10. Folks are California dreaming here in Iowa today. Bustling for a first down. Mark Jones, what's it like with those fans right now?
Brent, Dick, I tell you, it's getting real wild. And I don't want to say that these guys are a little bit anxious, but I'll show you what I found. I tripped over this on the sidelines. Hey, the suitcase says it all. Pasadena, here we come. I spoke with some of the Iowa players, told them that they can't clinch it today, and they says, it's okay, we get Minnesota next week. Guys, back to you. Got a buddy here, too.
Is that Herky?
Yeah, I think so. The guy on the right, that is.
8 seconds to go in South Bend. Penn State has used a timeout to stop it and set up the field goal. We'll keep you up to date with that one as Lampkin hammers inside the 35-yard line and into the arms of McNeil.
You know, there's a lot of things you can coach as a football coach in regard to a football player. But when you watch like a McNeil play and all that, that's when the coaching job is done at home. Mom and dad some way instill a pride level in it that regardless of the score, whatever the situation, they are going to give what they have to give. Respect those kind of kids.
Second down and 4. Hartley on the roll. Tucks it away and blocks inside the 20-yard line. He's a good-looking runner, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he came into the ballgame averaging 9.9 yards a carry on 13 carries. See, and he was a good runner in high school. Hey, also a 3.8 student in high school. He was small school player of the year as a quarterback. But you can see, once he makes this little pump fake right there, that freezes them. They think they're going to throw downfield. They back off. He hits that crack, gets a good block. Today, he's 2 carries for 30 yards. He's increasing his average.
Giving Iowa a first down at the 18-yard line.
This Iowa offensive line is a good offensive line, too. You've said
Good
that.
football team.
Yeah, they're really good.
Penn State kicks the field goal with 4 seconds to go. Another number 1 is about to topple. Don't kick it to the rocket, Joe, if you want to win this one.
He said he wasn't going to kick it to him at any time. The game plan was to not let Ismail touch the ball.
I'd be tempted with a 3-point lead and 4 seconds to go to kick the first onside kick in the history of college football.
Don't let him touch it.
Second down and 7. And the Rocket, we get word, was injured in the first half and isn't even there. Lincoln, touchdown, Iowa!
You can see why they think Lampkin will be a fine running back for them next year when they lose both Bell and Stewart. It's just an eye toss play away from the slot formation back into the sideline. They get it deep. It gets a good block right there by Kudawa. There's poor tackling right there, and he ricochets. This guy has that low center of gravity, and he just slipped with the tackle, takes it into the end zone. That's his 3rd touchdown this year.
Skillett. 38-9. The dust. 24-21, and that's the second time this year that the Fighting Irish have been knocked out of number 1. And now you can speculate that Colorado or even Miami, or how about an unbeaten but once tied Georgia Tech?
And they scored 45 points today in their win. Georgia Tech did over Wake Forest.
Georgia Tech, a big winner.
42-7.
They go to the Citrus Bowl to play Nebraska. Nebraska came into the day ranked number 11.
I still say this. We get too concerned when a football team in college football ratings loses 1 game. They say they're not a national championship caliber team. How many games did the 49ers lose last year through the 16-game schedule before they got in the playoffs? 1 or 2? What was it, 14-2 or 15-1? But they were still ended up world champions.
Dick, what's your feeling about all these bowls being decided before the pairings are?
I think everybody sort of panicked, you know, and then the Fiesta Bowl thing and that kind of situation, it made maybe some other teams available that would have automatically gone to the Fiesta Bowl, so someone goes out and tries to grab them. But there still ought to be a date, and there has been a date.
Callaway.
Boy, I like
to the
him.
35.
I like him. He'll make a living in the National Football League, return and punch at kickoffs. Callaway will.
Well,
he's a courageous kid.
The 2 bowl games that are going to be very important. If Texas continues to win, they'll have a major assignment with Miami in the Cotton Bowl and Georgia Tech against Nebraska in the Citrus Bowl. But there is going to be a difference of opinion this year.
Yes, you bet.
Following the bowls as to about who's number 1.
Well, there is supposed to be a date in which everyone has to wait to pick the bowl, right? But this year they all jumped it anyway and ignored the date.
Here it comes. It's 38-9, 3:24, and Eric Hunter still out there firing away with all the courage that he's brought into this game. Last year he was sacked 9 times by these guys in a 24-0 defeat. Here it's Ron Gator, who's played well. He's been off the Hawkeye bench and done a good job for Hayden Fry and his staff this afternoon.
He has done a good job. He played some last week, too. They put him in rushing situations. He hasn't played a lot. He didn't have spring practice even. But he had 15 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss coming into the game. He was injured a lot last year. Maybe he's really just coming into his own this year at this time of the season.
In defeat, here it's Ron Gator, who's played well. He's been off the Hawkeye bench and done a good job for Hayden Fry and his staff this afternoon.
He has done a good job. He played some last week, too. They put him in rushing situations. He hasn't played a lot. He didn't have spring practice even. But he had 15 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss coming into the game. He was injured a lot last year. And maybe he's really just coming into his own this year at this time of the season.
Hunter fires complete to Hill. He's to the 40-yard line. Eddie Pauley there defensively, and at the conclusion of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. And for the 20th year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund for both Iowa and Purdue. Coming without a huddle. 3rd down for Hunter and the Boilermakers. Out of the run and shoot. Caught by Callaway. And out of bounds at the 42-yard line. It will be short of the 1st down.
They throw an awful lot of balls almost parallel to the line of scrimmage, going to the sideline to sideline. With an arm like that, you'd like to see him get him downfield just a little bit. But I think that's probably just the design of the offense in terms of the run and shoot principles, what the read is, what the coverage tells the receivers to do.
From the 43.
Need a couple of yards for the 1st down here.
Going to run out of town.
Hunter hit as he releases. 1st down at the Hawkeye 40-yard line. It was Callaway.
He didn't throw it to Callaway, though. He threw it to the receiver outside him, who curled up, and the other receiver jumped up and took it away from him. Callaway did. He's an aggressive guy.
It was Crane who hit Hunter on the delivery that time.
Has there been a time he hasn't been hit? Many. You know, last year they sacked him 9 times. I don't know what the number is now, but it's getting close to that. 4 sacks. Huh? I wonder how many knockdowns.
The draw play. And it'll be 2nd and long. Gator on the bottom of that pile. Earl Coleman. He was the ball carrier that time, number 34.
You see him give the signal with the hand, the 0 signal. Evidently that is a pattern number. Here goes the downfield throw.
He's got him in. Off in the end zone. Ross had it for a fraction of a second. What a beautiful throw that was.
Oh my gosh.
That's about a 55-yard throw.
55-yard throw, right on the money. Ross is right there. He hasn't beaten deep. You see that's plate number 6 covering him. Plate is the backup right corner. Gosh, was that a beautiful throw?
It really was.
It wasn't one of those high trajectory throws either. That was a pretty good line driver.
Is he a phenomenal pitcher or what? Sideline, a little high and out of bounds. Rod Dennis is the wide receiver. So the Hawkeyes need a win next week up in the Twin Cities or a Michigan win in Columbus. Meanwhile, Ohio State needs a win over Michigan coupled with a loss or a tie by the Hawkeyes in Minnesota next week. Here is his 56th pass, a record in Kinnick, complete, out of bounds, stopping the clock. That was Curtis McManus. He is 31 of 56.
You can see what this young man does when he does get the time. They were in the game plan going to go to some shotgun, but I haven't seen it as yet today. He's getting pretty good protection here. He steps up. Look how long that ball is in the air to gain the yards that they gain. That's a long throw.
Hey, Dick, do you think the shotgun would bail him out now?
No, I don't think they need more. They'd need more like an atomic bomb.
Here he comes. Two rushmen firing high to Hill and incomplete with 1.5 minutes to go.
The one thing he's developing is great maneuverability back there. It's like he's in a constant scramble drill.
"57 passes, a record for Kinnick Stadium. He's completed 31 of them, closing in on 300 yards. He's had several passes dropped. One early in the game.
Oh, that long one right down there,
and one in the end zone just moments ago. He has stood out all game long. There's the inside shovel pass, and they get to the 25-yard line, so it'll be about 3rd and 6.
Jack Curtis first developed that play at University of Utah a long time ago. You know who the quarterback was?
No.
Grosscup.
Lee
Grosscup. I was, I think, a high school coach about that time when I saw him talk about it at a football clinic. I thought it was a magic play. I read that thing.
Was that the sheriff?
The sheriff.
No, that was Ratterman.
Man, that's it.
Yeah, Grosscup. No.
University of Utah.
Yeah. All right. Hunter back and diving, incomplete. It was Dennis.
Look at Hunter. He's running down. I completed that ball.
Look at him.
You know what he did then? There was no receiver in the hole that he threw it. He made a receiver come in the zone hole to after the football. Good anticipation.
I don't think I've seen an athlete in a blowout situation make more money than he has here today. I mean, this is phenomenal watching him. I'm not sure. If he wasn't a sophomore, he would be the first quarterback drafted. I mean, he's unbelievable. And you know he hasn't asked out of the game. He wants to stay in there and play.
You know,
that was his 60th pass of the game for Eric Hunter. He runs out of downs and out of time, but big round of applause for that young man.
He's got my salute. I'll tell you, I've been around football for a long time. I haven't seen many sophomores do any better or even maybe as good as this young man did today. What a talent.
When you're being pummeled.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't as though he's been in the game here the last quarter.
I can see why Fred Jackson, the coordinator, is so excited about the guy. He's out of Southampton, Virginia. How'd they ever let him get out of Virginia?
Well, I
the
guess
governor should have stepped in.
There's a fellow by the name of Moore who's not too bad there.
Yeah.
I think it was Tennessee, he told me yesterday, that went to the finals, and he didn't think the Volunteers would throw it enough. Well, I guess he got to throw it enough here today for Purdue. 32 of 60. Wasn't that some show?
5 or 6 drops, 1 touchdown drop for sure.
But meanwhile, the Iowa Hawkeyes, they did what they had to do here today. They came back after that heartbreaking loss. And Matt Rogers, let's not overlook what Rogers did here this afternoon either. He threw 4 touchdown passes, count them 4, and moved the Hawkeyes to within 1 win of Pasadena. And Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to assist those outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. The last game of the season is history in Kinnick Stadium. Hayden Fry making sure that it goes out to shake Fred Akers' hand.
Everybody in Brooklyn, what's up?
And we'll come right back. One goalpost didn't make it. 38-9. A coach had to battle his way off the field. Let's go to Mark Jones. Mark.
Coach, last season you were 4-5. Now you are 1 win away from a berth in the Rose Bowl. Your thoughts?
Well, it's been a wonderful year. Our players have played extremely hard. They've surprised everyone except the coaches and themselves. And my coaching staff's done a wonderful job. And you can see with this crowd, if you're an Iowa Hawkeye, you play with that extra heartbeat.
Coach, you guys came out a little flat today. Were you concerned at the beginning?
No, we had an awful lot of guys miss practice this week, bruised and battered. We had to keep 3 of our top people out. Then Nick Bell went down early. But the way we finished, though, is all worth it.
Looking ahead to Minnesota next week, how do you prepare your team? A big game, the biggest one of the season coming up.
Well, you know, they embarrassed us the middle of last quarter last year, and they've got Floyd and Rosedale. I think our guys will be ready.
Matt Rogers, tremendous today. A career-high 4 touchdown passes. Any premonitions about him coming out and playing such a big game?
Did you know that Matt Rogers didn't throw the football all week? He had a real bad arm, and we were worried to death. The number 2 quarterback, Hartley, didn't throw yesterday, and I was scared to death because of their defense, and he throws 4 TDs. I may start laying him off all week each week.
Coach, you said earlier that you weren't corn shucking when you said that you would come out and play well. You did. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Mark, Brent Dick, back to you.
Two of us.
How you doing, buddy? All right, Mark, thank you. And the goalposts have fallen. 3 security guards held the line for about 30 seconds. But then the Hawkeye wave got to him. Somewhere, folks, trust me, there are 3 security guards being trampled down there. No chance.
How do you break off a piece of aluminum goalpost? It's also a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, that's the one thing they have to be careful of.
And expensive. Well, when they think there are too many negatives in college athletics for it to be a real educational experience, they ought to be here today.
So the Big Ten standings, the Hawkeyes closing in on a championship, but Ohio State still with the chance of getting to the Rose Bowl because of that win over Wisconsin. The Hawkeyes at 6-1, a win over Minnesota and Minneapolis. They go out. But a loss or a tie and an Ohio State victory over Michigan. And then the Buckeyes would head on out to take on the Washington Huskies. So the celebration continues here. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, Illinois beating Indiana 24-10. Howard Griffin with 128 yards. Michigan State has to rally as Northwestern plays a good game but loses by 7, 29-22. Michigan in the battle for the Little Brown Jug beats Minnesota 35-18. And now the Wolverines will head down to Columbus next week in that noon Eastern time matchup against the Buckeyes. And in the big one, number 1 Notre Dame knocked off by Penn State 24-21 as Tony Sacca goes 20 of 34 for 277 yards, 3 touchdowns, career highs for the young man who struggled early on for the Nittany Lions, but who got the job done this afternoon for Joe Paterno. And now Colorado or Miami or even Georgia Tech will jump into that number 1. Not sure that anyone wants to go there. So a reminder as to what's coming your way next Saturday afternoon. It will be Ohio State against Michigan. And that's 11 o'clock here in the Midwest for that showdown between the Wolverines and the Buckeyes. Then it'll be the Skins game, which moves to ABC. Then that night it will be USC Notre Dame, and now the goalpost at the other end will fall. All hail the Hawkeyes. The security force still trying to hold that line.
I think they ought to surrender.
But folks, they're a 26-point underdog also. It's 38-9. Iowa with a win here today against the Boilermakers. And now Iowa has beaten Purdue 8 straight times. For Mark Jones and Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger. So long, everybody.
Tomorrow, ABC Sports serves up the finals of the ATP Tour World Championship. Then golf's best tee off in the final round of the RMCC Invitational, hosted by Greg Norman. ABC's College Football has been brought to you by Today Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. By BASF, the spirit of innovation. By UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. And by Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares for Christmas shopping. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.